Hi, it's Kristen. I was recently invited to speak at a work event whose theme was Celebrate Life. So I decided to talk about my experience as a new parent. For context, some of what you see around me are cultural artifacts from that event. Thanks for listening. So when I found out I was pregnant, I was not happy with my little pink lines. I felt like I should be overjoyed by the prospect of maternal bliss. Instead, I felt like you just told me my body was now host to a new alien species. There are a ton of gender norms that dictate how women are supposed to feel, think, and do pregnancy and parenting. For me, I was well prepared to deflect and defy those nefarious patriarchal norms. I went to a women's college. I majored in women and gender studies, worked for many years at a feminist organization teaching self-defense and identity development skills to girls. And yet, there I was, embarrassed and a little ashamed that I didn't feel the same big opinions as this little pink stick. I recognize my privilege in being able to conceive, and I'm so grateful to have a healthy baby today. I always wanted a family that included kids, but I never set out to be a mother. So how do you square those two things? For all you parents out there that loved parenting from the beginning, that's great. Right now, I'm speaking this out for every new parent who maybe didn't love it from the beginning and who maybe doesn't love it all today. That's okay too. Not into babies? That's cool. I see you. Here's a puppy. Let's rewind. My pregnancy was uneventful until week 36. Around a month before you're due, the baby settles down head first into the floor of the uterus in order to facilitate a vaginal birth. Our baby was upside down. So I spent the next week lying upside down on an inverted ironing board. It's one of many homeopathic remedies before we opted for something called an external cephalic version. This is a fancy medical term for manually rotating the baby. Yeah, what you're imagining in your head right now, literally that's it. It's doctors using their hands to manipulate the baby's position inside from the outside. It has a 50% success rate, and if the baby is stressed, it could lead to an emergency C-section. Talk about getting comfortable with discomfort and uncertainty. So here I am, laying on the hospital bed, hooked up to an IV with a drip bag of painkillers. The OB-GYN and midwife are on either side of me, snapping on their latex gloves and using an ultrasound to estimate the positioning of the baby. They massaged their hands into my belly, and after several minutes of grunting, straining, and yelling, I suddenly felt all of my organs rearrange. Baby's heart rate plummeted. We were seconds away from an emergency C-section. And the panicked reality of becoming a parent today came into my head. Thankfully, baby stabilized, and I was more than relieved that baby was okay. Admittedly, I was also a little bit relieved to put off parenthood just a little bit longer. Fast forward a week. Contractions began at 10 p.m. on Wednesday, January 6th. Many hours of labor ensued, and then, ta-da, baby arrived. My partner Michael and I strained our ears waiting for the telltale cry of a healthy baby. Nothing. Panic started to set in until the midwife whispered to us that it was a good sign that the pediatricians were talking cheerfully as they worked on her. A few minutes later, the doctors plopped Autumn Hope DiBenigno into our arms. Fact. Getting birthed is hard work. Fiction. All newborns are cute. Fact. Many newborns look like slightly blue, wrinkled little aliens. Remember what I said earlier about feeling like an alien host? So, after 9 months of being a parent, I'm completely in love with Autumn. I'd do anything for her. I love sneaking up next to her crib a few minutes before she wakes up to watch her sleep with her little butt up in the air. I love it when she affectionately grabs my face and then sticks her finger up my nose. Every morning we gaze into each other's eyes while she sits on the potty and giggles. And when she falls asleep in her car seat and I take her out, I lean into her weight and pause to appreciate her warm, sticky breath on my neck. My deepest curiosity in the world is no longer what is the meaning of life, but instead, who will Autumn become? My husband said he loved Autumn right away. Me? It took me 3 months before I said, I love you to her. It took me time to grow my love for my partner, so why not the same for my child? As much as I love Autumn, I don't know if I love being a parent. And I don't know if I ever will. Is it worth it? Absolutely. No question. Is it pleasant? Depends. You've got this little screaming sack of potatoes that comes into your life and completely upends things. For those who haven't had a baby, it's basically some version of eat, play, poop, sleep, repeat. And people tell you that it's going to be exhausting, but it wasn't until I saw a data visualization of Autumn's habits that I actually felt some relief. This is every diaper change, breastfeed, and bottle feed for the first 7 weeks of Autumn's life. Objectively, that's a lot. And every data point took time, ranging from 5 minutes for a diaper change to 30 minutes for a feeding on average. And it's a lot when you add it up. And the real kicker is when it happens, 24 hours a day. The midnight bottle feed play by my husband in the 3rd week finally made it possible for me to get more than a 3-hour stretch of sleep. So, I don't know, maybe we call it a diaper dashboard or a poopy plot. Anyway, I've realized that loving Autumn and loving parenting aren't the same thing. And I can do one without the other. As a woman, it feels especially risky to say that I don't love parenting. The first time I read this out loud, my husband was in the room and I was nervous about what he would think. Not about my public speaking skills, but that he would think less of me as a person, as a partner, and as a mom. Parenting is a great privilege, and it's messy, chaotic, and exhausting. I can love and be grateful for Autumn, and also yearn for the simplicity, control, and literal cleanliness of my previous life. I've come to realize that I can embrace the identity of being a parent, but own it unapologetically on my own terms.